What's up? What's up? Welcome back to Jack of All Trades, a weekly podcast for you to digest where there will always be a special guest. I'm not going to hold you on this Love After Lockup review, so let's go ahead and get right into it.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, what's going on?
A whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot.
What was going on this episode?
Yes, a whole lot of nothing, but not an uneventful week though.
True, which is the only thing that saved this episode.
Yes. Yes, we had a little bit of spice, as you said, before I press play going on ahead of the episode, and then a fairly dud of an episode for sure, but per usual, a couple of folks that I have choice words for. Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 46, The Ring is Off, ?
Who took their ring off?
Michael.
That was the title of the episode?
Mm-hmm.
Michael.
Montana Mills.
Oh, duh. Girl, see, forget.
Right.
See? Oh.
Right? It's like they probably had to search for a title, because if that's all they were able to come up with, yeah. So, I'm going to go ahead and say there was absolutely nothing with Brittany and Marcelino. We saw them wrap up their parking lot conversation. Girl.
That's it. Wrap this shit up.
That's it. That's all.
It's like I'm watching another one of their stories just drag out. Like, that's all their storyline ever is, just dragging out.
Well, I mean, I'll give them a little bit. Now, was it right? Probably not, but their storyline had a little bit more going on when Brittany had her mom, and some of the struggles that she was going through, basically being showcased for Life After Lockup. But yeah, I don't know if they just wanted us to know they were still alive and breathing and test the waters, but this was absolutely nothing week before and then again last week. So truly, I don't know how many people can say it. WeTV, you can keep them. We don't want it.
Keep them. Where is Brittany and Ray? Okay, there are some people that we could have replaced.
Oh, you already know. You know I want to see Chevelle and Quaylon and the cousin.
What's going on? Okay, like, it's other people. Bring Andrea and Lamar back. They can replace Brittany and Marcelino. Okay.
Well, they can do a little love during lockup.
Oh, absolutely. So I don't know. Brittany asked him to be her Superman, and I was over it. I was like, you know what? This is where I draw the line.
Right. Yeah. The script was scripting. So yeah, I don't really want to give them another minute. Who should we move on to?
And we could go to Justine and Michael.
Okay. Justine and Michael.
Or we can do Puppy and Amber, because it was really just Puppy. She ain't have shit really going on. So up to you.
Yeah, let's do Puppy and Amber. Because you don't have a lot to say about Mr. Mocha. So I want to get my pressure up.
Queen Mocha.
Girl, okay.
That's why that's your name, because you're chocolate. Will you get Mocha? We'll get to it.
Right. So Amber and Puppy. So Amber, she's always got a friend, doesn't she? She's always talking a little bit greasy, a little, she's a bit of a fast talker. So she has this other guy friend. I didn't catch his name. Did you?
Let's call him. Let's make one up.
Yeah. Arthur.
I was not expecting that.
Well, we're rolling with it.
Okay.
Mr.
Hey, Arthur.
You know what? We're going to call him Arturo, okay? Because he is Mexican.
Arturo.
And
okay, because I was thinking like a Jose or something. And Arturo.
Yes.
Okay, 10-4. I like it.
Right? Now, his real name, whatever it was. So Arturo is apparently her friend, and they've been great friends for a long time, and she has a lot of respect for him, especially like in business dealings. And it just feels like Amber sings this song about people in her life a lot, and it's like, but girl, you was like selling dope. But anyways,
so where did these people come from? Like, at what point in your life did they come into play?
Right.
And for this man to say he wants you to go into business with him and he needs you to come up with $50,000. And he said, but I know you a hustler. You will make it happen. Excuse me, sir?
Right. Right.
Okay.
I was just like, when did Amber get on this level, you know, and not have dope money involved? So definitely a little bit of a side eye. So then we shoot from there over to Queen's house. Shout out to Queen, the best.
I love her.
Yes, always love Queen. She's looking great. And Puppy is actually moving in with her, trying to shake Eric. So it's kind of like Queen is swapping out Amber, who needed her help to get back on her feet. Now she got her a man. And Puppy, she is leaving the relationship that she's been in and moving in with Queen so that she can get on her feet. So Queen lets her know that she was a certified side bitch.
You know, and that's what I love about Queen. Mm-hmm. She does not like play. She does not. Maybe that comes with age. You know, when you get a certain age, you just don't have time to sugarcoat things.
Yes.
And I guess when they've been through jail bid, you know, or prison bids, federal prison bids.
Yeah.
Girl, first of all, why I meet this dude yesterday and he tells me he beat a Fed case. And the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, you got some money because you had a good lawyer.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine so, right? Like,
but yeah, I think because they did like a federal jail bid, like they don't, Queen, like, I don't have time to sugarcoat with y'all. It is what it is. You the side chick.
Right.
You gonna stay here. I think Puppy staying there is what's best for her because Queen is honest, you know, and very forthcoming with her and, well, all of them, her and Amber. And she got to be on Puppy ass too. Like, job, you need one.
Yes.
Get one. He can't come over here. Don't say Eric's name in this house. I don't want him around here.
Right. She said you're going to have to pay half the bills. So, you know, Puppy's over there still
on
in
her ass.
Right? She's in her puppy mode. Like, are you going to help me? You going to help me out, Queen? She's like, you're going to pay half of these bills. You can stay here, but it's not about to be a free ride.
Right. Yeah. And Queen is no fool. Queen says it out of her mouth that she thinks Puppy is going back.
Right. Yes. She tells Puppy she can do better, but she also is realistic. She knows that there's a likelihood that Puppy's going to go back to Eric. She's not done with him yet, but all she can do in the meantime is keep Eric away from her house. And she said that's what she's going to do. So yeah, it was, I don't know, Pup. Hopefully she can get herself together, stand with Queen, because she really needs that space to grow and figure out what she wants to do coming out of prison, because she really did come out and kind of go from one relationship to another. And I'm glad the Queen kept it real with her. Like, you were basically a part of an affair. This man was never going to keep it 100 with you. So yeah, take this time to get yourself together. She told her, you know, it'll get better, and she's going to help her out. But yeah, Puppy's going to have to lean in and, you know, really do some things for herself. So shooting back to Amber. So Amber wants to look at this opportunity, you know, to buy into the business, maybe even the building with Arturo. And again, this $50K, right, that she would need to buy into it. Of course, that's a lot of money. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to think about it. And then I'm pretty sure Arturo asked her, like, so is TC going to be okay with this? And she's like, oh, yeah, you know, he doesn't have any problem with me getting money. It just has to be, you know, like, honest money. But I'm like, I don't know. Because, again, like, who is Arturo to you, Amber? And she's real good for having a In my notes I have she's good for having a dishonest relationship with somebody, and I guess, you know, when I say that, I mean she lies by omission. She downplays stuff. Like we've already seen it with how they opened the season up with her claiming she didn't tell TC something and then trying to kind of flip her words and admitting that it did happen. So I'm just curious, like, who is Arturo to Amber? And maybe TC wouldn't necessarily be mad about you working at a bar, wanting to invest in a business, but I'm just curious to know who this individual is to you.
Agree. And TC, like, you know, she said something about, like, TC doesn't care if she works or not. So TC, what do you do?
I don't know, right? He seems to have it together, and maybe he doesn't care if she works or not because she has been helping to take care of the kids so much. But I don't know. I my takeaway was like, he's okay with you getting honest money if you are going to work. But I just feel like there's always something that Amber is hiding, or, you know, there's an unlock that she'll come back and be like, oh, so TC doesn't know, like, me and Arturo used to date. Like, you know, like, she just gonna say some crazy shit.
I agree.
So yeah, we'll see. But yep, that was it from them. What about Eris and Cameron?
Ooh.
There wasn't much there, but
you know, it wasn't. It really wasn't. You know what my problem is with these girls? Like, okay, with Eris and Cam, Cam is a rapper. He's made it very clear that is his job.
Yeah.
Yet you want him to get a real job, which I understand you got to chip in on these bills, baby.
Right.
But, like, that's what comes with this life. You know, him not answering the phone, being in the studio long hours, things like that. Michael, same thing with Justine. You knew what you were getting into, yet you want to complain about the life that they're living. But this is how you met them, doing exactly this.
True.
So it's that. But I like that Cam you could tell he is the baby boy of the family. So I like that when he does call his sister.
Shout out to Steph.
Girl, I was finna say that's my sister now, okay? Because baby, when Stephanie said, I like that she gave it to him real.
Yes.
Very raw from a woman's perspective.
Yes.
You know, when she said, because I'm not going for that shit, girl, I yelled in this room of mine, okay? I said, preach, Stephanie.
I know that's right.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, she wants a for sure way. Like, Cam, you're not, I get it. You're only going to see things as far as you can see them. You know, you could tell, like, he's just a baby boy. He's been spoiled. He's been taken care of. He's always did what he wanted to do. But no, now you are a husband. Right. And that's what Stephanie is telling you. Like, I'm not going for that shit. She wants a for sure income that you're chipping in with these bills. Right. Period.
Yep.
And I ain't going for it either. I'm with Stephanie.
Right. Right. And she didn't diminish what he's been doing. She's like, I understand that rapping is your career, but you made a choice. You decided to be a husband and now a father. So that's what she's expecting. She's been waiting, and she wants you to come in and play a very serious role in contributing to what's going on. So 100%, like, thank you, Stephanie, for giving great advice and also not being too heavy-handed with it. Like, she told him what she needed to say, and then she was like, cheer up, Charlie Brown. I loved it.
I love that because he did sound all sad. I like that she said that. That was nice.
Yeah.
And Cam did apologize.
Right.
It was a whack ass. It started off whack.
Yeah.
But wiggity whack. But he cleaned it up well. So yes. I was like, okay, fine, Cameron.
Right.
But then it was like, here come the dumb shit, right? Because now she's on him. I don't like that these women bully them into turning on their location.
Right.
I feel like that's what they're doing.
I'm like, so add another one to the list. Eris telling Cam that his location better be on at all times. And I'm just
And
like,
girl, fuck
damn.
you. Girl, fuck you. Like, I wish anybody would, like, okay, no, 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 no. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
Don't play with me. Mm-mm. I
Yeah.
don't like it. And I feel like if you have to do all that, that says a lot. It's giving insecure.
Right. I think that we are seeing more women on this season than ever before, saying, "Oh, we want the location on," because they're lacking trust. I think some folks trust more than others, but there's definitely a lack of trust, and it's giving insecure because if you are with this person and you're so confident in all of these decisions you've made, right? Whether it's Eris marrying Cam or Taylor getting pregnant by chance, or Monique putting her life on hold to be with Derek in another place, like, you've trusted him so far to do a certain amount of stuff, but now you want to track his every move. Like, we gotta
It
figure out what we
makes no
want.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Like, he could have framed up, like, he didn't have to tell her, well, I didn't think I was wrong. I feel like, but I can appreciate that he walked through his thought process on why he needed to apologize. And they have been doing good at that, kind of finding a way to resolve the issues that they're having. But yeah, it does feel like at the same time, like, Eris and all of the other ladies, let's remember what's going on. You decided to make some very serious life decisions with someone fresh out of prison. So all of this extra overbearing shit, like, it's just not helping. I mean, I kind of get it, but it's not helping.
Agree.
So yeah, I mean, and we all know in real time, Cam was probably one of the first folks to make sure he hopped on socials, even during the Love After Lockup season, to defend his name. So we know he's working. We know things are working out, for them as a couple. But, they going through their growing pains. And again, I say, like, if there was a way for us to just be able to release some of these couples into the wild, like, y'all are ready to fly, you're good.
Get the fuck on.
Yes. I think they would be one of those couples. So, anywho, okay. Who's next?
Let's see. Lindsay and Blaine. And we got Justine and Michael.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we got Derek and Monique, who we don't have to say for last. And Taylor and Chance.
Okay. Let's switch it up. One little brazzle dazzle.
Yes.
Let's do Lindsay and Blaine.
Lindsay.
Because Lindsay loves to piss me off.
Right. So,
girl.
Surprise, surprise. We open with Lindsay still upset that Blaine didn't tell her about house arrest.
Girl.
Okay. When are you not pissed?
Right.
So she packs a bag and she says that she's going to leave, and Blaine reads her down just a little bit, and tells her that she always leaves when things aren't perfect in Lindsay's world. And, she's a bit of a runner, in that as soon as something gets a little bit.
She's a runner. She's a track star. Tusi. Shout out to Tusi, honey.
Okay. She gonna run away when it gets hard. And that's Lindsay to a T.
And a dramatic exit at that. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
But you know what? As I was watching, I was like, you know what? This is a classic Simone move.
Oh,
like,
okay.
The dramatic exits. Okay. Chase me. Chase me. Just chase. That's all we want. I'm like, oh, I wonder what Lindsay's sign is. Girl, you a Libra. But it's, yeah. But he did read her down. He was like, girl, with all that. Okay.
Right. And then when she left, he said, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
I said, this old Mississippi. Like, you could come up with nothing better than that.
Right. Very old school country talk. So she drives off, and of course they're adding a little bit of dramatic interest in there, and she's like, hey babe, can't wait to come get you, and it's like, of course, a distraction for Lindsay, and honestly never even revisited that. So again, just
Because it was
this.
probably her daughter.
That's
I just
right,
felt
right?
like it was her daughter.
I thought it was her daughter too. She's told us on the internet that it was like her best friend, but it's like either way, girl, we don't know why you're here because we know everything is full of shit. But anyways,
Agreed.
so she's gone for the night. The next day, Blaine's dad comes by and we see Blaine in a Jesus is my plug shirt that
Girl.
had the girls going a little bit like, why would he have this t-shirt on? But
Like after you were a known drug dealer. And don't put Jesus in your foolishness, okay?
right.
Do not
Right.
put the Lord in that.
So that's our initial thoughts. But then we realized that Blaine has actually really been into the church for the past couple of years. He's been sober and attending a church, has created a great relationship with a pastor. And he is now headed to Mission and Overcomer Sunday to give a testimony about his journey. And I was like, oh, okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And of course, Blaine goes to like a black church in Mississippi.
Okay, yes. So it was like black
It
pastor.
made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. But, and I also thought about like, when it comes to those that are forgiving of those coming out of their substance abuse and their criminal activity. Yeah, you definitely found like a good country church led by a black pastor. It was a small, humble congregation, but
Yes.
this whole time, his dad is there at the house and he asks, where's Lindsay? And Blaine tells, his dad that she done run off. And his daddy looked at him like, well, I mean, I could have told you that was going to happen. It's like, yep. So she's MIA as they head to the church. Lindsay's grandmother and Miley Grace show up before she does. And just as Blaine's headed up to the podium and he starts to pray and give his testimony, then we see Lindsay slink her way into the church. And then after service, they talk about the past few days. So in the conversation, Blaine wants to know where she's been. And, she talks about their lack of communication. And he's like, well, I don't even know where you were. And that's when she lets us know that she was with Stephanie. And it was just like, girl, you didn't set that up. Like, you didn't tell anybody that you were going out with some chick.
Exactly.
But she does say she wants to be a part of decisions that are made, which fair. I mean, I'll give her that much. But Blaine says it's hard talking to her. And we know that for damn sure.
Agreed.
Okay. And he says in his confessional, that he wants things to get better, but he says a mouth will say anything. And I was like, and this is true. You can talk a lot of talk, but you got to walk the walk too, Lindsay. So
agreed. And then he was talking about his grandmother, Miss Wanda.
Yes, he was.
Which I was like, of course his grandmother is named Miss Wanda. Like a white woman named Wanda.
In Mississippi.
Cool. In Mississippi. And I was just like, okay, this explains a lot about Blaine. And I like it. Like, I really do like it.
Yeah, it definitely explained a lot. It explained his demeanor. Like, he's not about a lot of this BS. He is not going to come off like he wants to keep up with the dramatics. He's not some cussing guy. Like, there's a lot of guys on here that really give off terrible vibes. And, you worry about what they would be willing to do if the cameras were off. And Blaine is not one of those guys. And it explains.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he's just with the wrong type of woman. I think he needs like a good, wholesome, maybe not good and wholesome, but just not Lindsay. I think Lindsay is too fast for him.
Yeah, I think he needs somebody who is just as invested in their recovery as he is.
Agree.
Right. I don't think that Lindsay is so much invested in her recovery. She's still very much in a survival mode in the way that she moves. And even as she was driving down that dirt road to leave, she's like, it doesn't matter what guy I pick, I'm going to wind up being hurt. And it's like, because you're too worried about picking a guy.
Like, exactly. Like, you're a pretty girl, relax. Go be a mother to your daughter. Like,
Right.
that's the part that needs to happen
Right.
first and foremost. And then the rest of that shit will fall in place.
Exactly. Like, worry about yourself, your child, your sobriety, your commitment to being off of or out of jail and working towards getting off of parole or probation, whatever you're on, and just really establishing something for yourself. Because even the fact that you are relying on this show as your income and you brought somebody like Blaine into the mix, now it's really showing that it's a you problem, Lindsay. Like, Blaine would have been just fine and working on his recovery and going to church without this show. I don't know what you would be doing without this show.
In trouble.
Right?
Period. Like, and it's like, she's still scamming. She still give me scammer vibes.
Right.
Like, you scam Deontay, you're probably scamming Blaine in a way, because he's just, you can run over him, put it like that.
Yeah, because I was going to say she's still glorifying so much of the bad stuff, like, oh,
yeah,
I used to be the biggest drug dealer in town and I can still round up money right now if I want. And just that whole demeanor and that approach to life, Blaine is not on that. And Blaine is also trying to stay out of jail. That was his MO in going and getting put on tether instead of going to jail. So it's just, she's not in the same place as him. Like, she's not as far along in her walk. And he could be by himself or find somebody that's a little bit more supportive of what he's trying to do, maybe a little bit deeper into the church, where he is right now. I don't know. Blaine and Lindsay, they stay on Twitter, while the show is airing. And he responded to one of my tweets and I was just like, she better treat you right, Blaine.
Period. Or we ride at dawn.
Right. Okay.
Like me, I could take her. Okay, it's not a problem.
Girl, right? She's scary as fuck. And then I think I saw a post. He got a new haircut. He looked good without that swoop. So.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Very good, Blaine.
Right. He gonna be all right. So, okay. Who's next?
Justine and Michael, girl. I'm sick of it.
Okay. Let me try to keep calm. So first, Justine discovers that Michael took $12,000 out of their joint account.
Girl, discovered. Fuck out of here. Pissing me off.
I was like, how did it go from $5,000 for the ring to $12,000 is now missing?
Do you hear me?
Like,
what's tea?
What else did you pay for? And of course, Michael is like, oh,
the re-up.
Exactly. Okay.
Pounds.
And
kilos.
He's like, oh, I was gonna make sure to put the money back before she found out, but I didn't move fast enough. Where were you gonna get $12,000 to just put back?
Girl, look, my thing is this, Justine, you signed up to be with this type of nigga. So,
right.
Well, let me say it nice. But like, this is what you signed up to do. Like, this is the type of man you wanted. You thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Now look at you.
Right.
Wondering where the money went. That's what come with these type of guys. Like, I don't understand. We're not 21. We know this. So what's the problem?
This is what her mother was talking about. You got this car that he gave you and you don't know where the money came from. And now money is disappearing. And sure enough, Michael doesn't want her challenging it. He gaslights her basically and says, other couples don't even have this money to be having this argument. Sir, like, y'all are...
I asked a question. Right. And stop playing with me.
Yeah. She should have kept that job. She knows it.
There you go. Because it's like all she just sit around and eat. Like, girl, I understand you are pregnant. And she said it. He was like, I bossed you up. And he said, And she said, no, you turned me into a slave. Like, and that's how, what do you think
A
is going to happen
maid.
when you had a baby, Justine? Like, yeah,
Right.
a maid. I said a slave. Jesus help us. But like, what do you think is going to happen when you had a baby?
Girl, he really
And he
not
in the
gonna let her
studio
leave.
and Mocha calling.
Girl. So
So fuck. But you wanted this type. You signed up for this. You thought it
right.
was cute. And
Yes.
this is what you signed up for.
Right.
So deal with it.
Again, another one that decided to get pregnant, acting like you
Hmm.
putting your trust in a nigga, pussy hole how you figure.
Pussy hole, how you figure? He won't come on, take
Like,
me back. Take me back, honey. Take me back.
you know,
Yeah,
like
baby, wait a minute. I was riding the other day, I got my little XM radio. And I heard this beat. And I said, this sounds familiar, right? I've been so far removed.
mm-hmm.
So I said, well, damn, what song is this? I know it. Girl, I heard that beat. It's like I never left the Seven Hills, honey. It was anybody want a motherfucker die? Come see who me see double D nigga. I was like, why do I still know these words? Like,
Girl, forever ingrained.
yes. I was like, oh, it's been so long. But yeah. So it's like
Yes.
I just don't have it on the sympathy side for Justine. I just don't. And you was just walking around here, big tough ass, badass, my man,
Mm-hmm.
with your mom, honey. And now look at you. It's $12,000 missing.
Right.
Okay.
And y'all going back and forth about who putting money in the account.
Meanwhile, you quit your job. You really you said I trust you with the finances.
Right.
When you did that.
Right.
So
Exactly.
okay.
And then okay. I don't want to say that she tries to boil it down to it because I don't want to, you know me, I'm always trying to be mindful to not be completely dismissive of these people, but she dials it back and says her main gripe is simply that he didn't talk to her. Can you just talk to me? Which, hey, fair. But my thing is, just like you said, you already have set so much in motion to make him believe that type of action is okay. You quit your job you quit your job with no notice. You
from the car,
okay? You made it seem like getting pregnant was okay, and then you told your mother all of this at the same time as if she hadn't been helping to support you. And so now you're putting all of your trust in Michael. So yeah, I'm sure it does send this signal to him like, I can do what I want. Because in his mind, you're at home where you're supposed to be. And he's out working.
He said that too. He said you're doing what you're supposed to do. Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like I kind of understood what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
He tried to clean it up.
Right.
Like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. He tried to clean it up, but
it was definitely,
honestly,
it was giving you're barefoot and pregnant at home like I want you to be.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm pretty sure they talked about this on those good jailhouse calls.
Right.
And that was the plan, which is why, because she didn't just up and quit her job. That's something they talked about, before.
Yeah.
And one thing I will say about Michael, all that shit he said on that phone, he ready to get to it. Okay.
True. That is true, right? We've always said, and that's, I think, the thing we've been saying, oh, their communication is great. And he's kind of standing, in what he said he would do. So that's where it's like, Justine, if you're not liking it now, you should have thought maybe twice before you made some of these decisions, because it was set up to where this plan was going to start in motion, and he's holding up his end of the deal for the most part. So,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, though. I don't know if I would have no joint account with anybody and be okay with $12K missing. But
girl, especially now, if it's my money that's going like that, like, okay, yeah, you gonna tell me something. But if this your money, we got this joint account, I was just, hey, I need to pay the bills. Because he said that he paid the rent. So I'm assuming that he's still doing that. He's still doing so. So
well, then he lied. He lied too and said, "Oh, I put it into some investment, some cryptocurrency."
He did,
and it's like, why are you lying? And that's the issue. Michael, where did all of that money go? All of that money did not go towards a ring. And what was your plan to put the money back? If you can't be 100 with Justine about that type of activity, just to give her understanding that yes, money is coming and going, but it's coming back, then I would be suspicious too.
Well, that's what she signed up for. So take your suspicious ass on in the room and eat your cereal and lay down. Yes. Prego, because that's what you signed up for.
Yeah, this is true. So, but you know what? Again, and the way that he's been displaying himself, you know, he's consistent. He apologizes, and he said he will communicate with her more in the future, which he's been consistent with trying to meet her, you know, and come to an agreement on how they'll move forward. So they do that, and they're good, and then they're headed to Vegas the next day. So, of course...
He's moving better than Taylor, let's be clear. Okay? With the finances. Okay? I'm sure Taylor would love it. Like, oh, there's 12K missing. Where is it? Okay, I trust you.
Girl, we'll get there, because I'm so mad.
Don't play about no money.
Oh, my gosh. So, of course, our bananas and pajamas are matching. They've got their matching masks on, okay? Photos of themselves.
In the airport. That would have pissed me off if I would have saw them pooching through O'Hare or Midway with this. I know these goofies from out of town about to get their ass robbed. Like, like what?
They were definitely...
Because I'm about to have a field day.
Yes, they were absolutely at Midway because they were flying Southwest to Vegas. And they get in a Beamer once they get out there. Courtesy.
They gotta rent that.
Right. Well, it was courtesy of Mocha. And then they pull up to like the Hilton Garden Inn or something. The shit just don't really match. But, you know,
not adding up.
They're excited, you know, to be together in a way. So the next day, they go to the studio where Mocha greets Michael and completely gives Justine the cold shoulder. Now,
and here's my thing, baby. I couldn't have let. She's good because I wouldn't have let that ride.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have. As soon as we walked in the door and you on that, Michael, I'm finna go.
Right.
And you gonna let this ride, Michael? You not gonna say nothing,
right?
Okay.
Right. Now, Michael, I don't know if you told Mocha that Justine was coming or not, but she's there now. And if you are going to have her...
can't even say hi.
Right. If you're going to bring her with you, then make sure that you command the respect for her, right? While she is there. Otherwise, don't bring her. Otherwise, put your foot down.
Let's be clear. I can guarantee you if Mocha has any type of girlfriend, fiance, boyfriend, husband, whatever, okay, he wouldn't allow that type of disrespect.
Right.
Just off his character and how he acts, and the way he behaves, queening, okay, he wouldn't allow nobody to disrespect his significant other like that.
And at this point, I think this
get
is
over it.
Right. I'm just so frustrated because it's like, listen, let me move along a little bit first. So Michael says he performed at the 2017 Latin Grammys. There's no evidence that anyone can find of it. But I'm just saying, I tried to look for it. I wanted to see. But, you know, who knows? He might have been like, opening events, right? Like
a different stage.
Exactly. So Michael seems to, you know, put a lot of trust in Mocha and Mocha helping to advance his career. And therefore, Mocha, you know, takes advantage of that. He wants to mold Michael, aka Montana Mills, into the rapper that he wants him to be. So, you know, he's like, okay, you're out here now. Are you ready to work? It's time. Like, there's a lot that needs to be done very quickly. And hey, if this is all legitimate, he seems to have things lined up and he is ready to go. And Michael, you know, he has taken on this show. He started dating Justine. They got on this show, and now he knows that he has to be with Justine to film, to parade around, to make this money. And he's also pursuing this rap career with Mocha, and he clearly is not on board with their relationship. Michael tells Mocha that he and Justine are expecting, and he's pissed because he feels like he waited, quote unquote, for Michael. And
girl, I didn't like that verbiage. You better say something else.
Right.
What you mean you waited for me? Like you my woman. Like you're Justine. Justine waited for him. His mother waited for him. His kids waited for him.
Right.
And that's another thing. All of these people are demanding his attention.
Right.
Let's be clear.
Yes. Right.
It's a lot. Nobody gave him any time to adjust because he got out and he hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. Granted, I respect it. As you know, like we see bum ass motherfuckers on this show, like Michael with Sarah. We've got to get to this old Chance, honey, and you know we've seen it. So, I like that he is hitting the ground running. However, I think it's too many people pulling him in too many different directions. Everybody wants his attention, and I'm gonna be honest, Michael, you don't spend enough time with your kids for me. Maybe it's not televised, but I ain't feeling it.
Right. It's just like, how could he? You know, he got out. He couldn't leave the state of Pennsylvania. The kids were in Rhode Island. Once he could leave the state, they didn't show, you know, him visiting. And I get it, right? That's where we may not have seen some things. But what we also now see is that y'all pawned off all of them children on other people. Justine, they're well taken care of. Okay, girl. And now y'all are all the way in Vegas. And Justine, you getting a cold shoulder when you could just be at home with them children. And Michael, you're out here being tasked with being a 35-year-old married man who should portray as this bachelor. You probably should not have immediately started to revisit your rap career with Mocha, who is very demanding of your time and seems to think very highly of you. And you know me, I love my YouTubers. Auntie's advice. She said some things that I had to take into consideration because I was definitely out here calling Mocha everything but a child of God. And if he is a businessman, which I'm still a little bit, it's a little sketch to me, but if this is what he's focused on and he expected Michael to come out ready to work, like Michael, I don't know if you were selling everybody a dream or if you were, you know, trying to get everybody to believe that you were going to invest your time in them, whether it was Justine or the kids or Mocha, but this is clearly not working. And seeing your producer disrespecting your wife, like that should be a no-no. You know, at that point, you should say, okay, let me figure out what I'm going to do because I can't have him over here disrespecting my wife. I should still be at home spending more time with my children. And then, hey, Mocha.
And the way he talks to Michael, like, girl, I don't like it. I'll beat your ass. Like,
he's like, tell me the last time you saw a successful married rapper. I'll wait. And it's just like, Mocha, it is 2023.
All they ass got one girlfriend around this bitch. Okay, they might be cheating like a motherfucker, but they have one girl. Even who was that said that? I think Charlamagne said that. Like when he interviewed, it was either Dirk or Baby, and he was like, "Y'all all got one girl." He was like, "Pop, Snoop, all of them was out here like doing the most." You know, when they were that age, they're so young, and they all have one girlfriend. And one of them was like, these hoes don't be on shit. Like, and I was like, you know, but stop playing with him. You know, Mocha, like, it can happen. Okay. Like, relax. And then talking about he's competing with 18-year-olds. No, he's not. No. He is damn near 40. He's not competing with them. He's not about to be out here doing no dances and shit like that. Like, be cool.
Right. And I think the sad part is if he's not competing with the 18-year-old, he really can't compete with his peers. Because you know me, I'm always going to put like 2 Chainz at the top of that list. So, okay.
Married.
Mocha, sure. Maybe 2 Chainz got married after we got to know him a little bit. But guess what? Him and Keisha already had all them kids.
Yes,
So
they did.
he never portrayed himself as some bachelor that all the women, that he wanted all these girls. Like, that wasn't even a part of his flow for real.
And guess what? All of these rappers have to mature and change their flow, change their image, because Two
Yes,
Chainz went from titty boy to Two
right.
Chainz.
Yes,
So Montana Mills, whatever the fuck, he don't even have to go through all that. He can just, he doesn't have to rebrand himself. He could
right,
just, not in that way. He could just start where he is and rebrand himself later. But come on,
right.
dude, you tripping.
So I don't know. It's just like, I'll respect you as a businessman and not make it seem like you just want Michael for yourself, because that was the vibes it was giving Mocha. But at the same time, like you said, like, you don't have to talk to him like that. Like, if there's a contract that you want to sign so that you can make sure that he commits his time, or whatever you need to do, figure that out. But he's low-key bullying him and even mocking who he is. Like, so what, you want to keep having kids? Or you going to be at the studio?
Yes, he does. He said he does.
Right? I'm like, listen, if this man wants to be a family man, you have to accept that for what it is. And,
right. Don't worry about my household.
Right.
Fam.
And mocking him, making it seem like it's something wrong with, changing diapers instead of being at the studio at 2 a.m. Like, listen, I get it. If, y'all working around the clock, you got to figure things out, but you don't have to diminish the life that he's trying to make for himself. Just tell him to keep it real with you.
Right.
So, everybody's not willing to be Future, in these streets. Plenty of rappers are married.
Lord.
Okay. Plenty of rappers got their kids all the time. Like, it is a new era. So he has to get the hit first.
Goodness.
And then the thing, girl, and
go make a song about it, so the rest of the I want to say Meek Mills, Montana Mills, whatever the fuck, go make a song about it to teach the rest of these niggas how to go do that.
Right. You can be whoever you want to be. And then again, bringing it back into the perspective of this show, Mocha, we are getting to know Michael from Love and Life After Lockup. Like, people are not going to be able to separate those two. So even as he rises to fame, there were going to be people that are like, where's Justine? Where are them kids? What's up with you and Justine? Of course, there's going to be groupie hoes. There's always some, girl that's clueless or doesn't care. But he is literally creating a persona that people will be able to reference back to, and it's going to involve his significant other. So unless you should have called him before he got on the show, because people are not going to scrub this from their memory. Like, we know who he is now.
Mocha, let's be clear. We only know you from this show. Okay. All
so
right.
Back to that. So Mocha, everybody's like, oh yeah, he's legit. He's real. Okay, yeah, I've seen him. He made a couple videos or whatever. He's got about 300,000 followers on social media. So I watched, I guess it was a clip of a music video that he made, right? Whatever.
I don't give a fuck.
But when I tell
you,
you,
on the tip of my tongue, I don't give a fuck.
But when
I digress.
I saw what appears to be a lot of bots responding like, oh my gosh, this is great, awesome, love it so much, right? You realize when you start to read bot type of comments, and I'm like, now Mocha, did we buy some of our followers? Because that's a thing.
Hello, that's definitely a thing, baby.
And he gives the vibes like, he looks like the guy that would tell his assistant, yo, I need to get my follower count up, I need to look like I'm somebody. And go ahead and pay out of pocket for, a set of followers that then turn into another set of followers. And now you got a bunch of robots commenting on your video, but, nobody really knows who you are. So I don't know. I
hate
era
of bullshit.
Right. He's just, I'm not feeling his vibe. I'm not feeling the way that he's approaching Michael or Justine. But at the same time, you make a very good point. There's so many people pulling Michael in so many different directions. And hey, I don't knock him for trying to take advantage of any money he can make coming out of prison. If the show's going to pay you, if Mocha's going to pay you, I get it. I would try to grab as much money as I could as well. But clearly you kind of overcommitting and doing the most and getting Justine pregnant. You know, it's a lot. It's much. So
it's too damn much.
but the thing that, you know, my last note is just like, Montana Mills, you can make it without Mocha. Just use your following off this show. OG Cam booked his own studio time. You can do that. You know, He did it when he was in Pennsylvania. He booked some studio time. So if this man is trying to create an image for you that just doesn't...
Over that white boy house.
Yes. But if Mocha's trying to create this image and this lifestyle, you know, that's just too much for where you are right now, you have enough going on to get off your feet doing your own thing. So I don't know. And maybe that was a part of, you know, their Atlanta press run. You know, maybe that was him saying, I can do it without Mocha, because he clearly seems to be based in Vegas. I don't know. But that's...
And what's this move about? Like, I get it. You want the land for all of these kids, but...
Girl.
Okay, Michael, I need to see these kids packing up. And I just don't feel like those mothers are going for that. But okay, right. Simple.
I don't think they're going either. And I have a hard time believing that he's actually sat down and had the real conversations with them, you know, so that they know to expect this. And then it's just like, you're so far away from them. Like, it would make more sense if you were moving to Atlanta.
Agreed.
And, you know, take advantage of that scene and have them come out on what's more likely a little quick nonstop, you know, from Pennsylvania on down and back and forth, or Rhode Island, I guess, back and forth, versus having to fly across the country, across all these time zones to either live with you and Justine or visit with you and Justine. Come on. And then not be there because clearly Mocha don't want you at the house with them kids. So,
girl,
I don't know.
Good night. Let's call her.
Right. Let's see. You want to do Monique and Derek?
Girl, yeah. My notes start with these two.
Right. So Derek is finally off tether. And he's ready to go to Chicago to see Monique and perhaps, you know, some other fresh meat that might be there.
That's what it is. I'm getting a gangster girl or something. I don't know.
You know, go see the site, see what Chicago is hitting for. And he's at Big Mom's house and she packs him a lunch and, you know, asks if he's ready to go see Monique and if he has all his paperwork and everything. And of course, he doesn't have it all yet, but...
Niggas and nigga shit.
Girl. So, but, you know, she also asks if he's ready to act right. And he says that, yes, he is. And he tells her that he's planning to propose to Monique. And he says Monique is about
Big Ma had to sit down when he said that. She sat down. Okay, I said period. I get it, Big Ma.
She said, get out of here.
Now you're doing too much for this hit television show. That's what I wanted. I think she wanted to say.
That's exactly what she wanted to say. She knows that this nigga's not ready for marriage. Can you imagine?
Had all type of girls through that house.
Okay, running in and out, ripping and running around Cleveland, child. She knows. Mm-hmm. It was probably a girl in that house the day before. That's probably why she had to sit down like that.
Right, like, what? You know I could see you. Like, sir, okay.
So she tells him that marriage is a commitment. It's not a one-day show. And that was, I feel like, shade. Like, yes. This
shade, yep.
Okay, these cameras come in here and you want to talk about marriage? Like, no, that's not what marriage is. And she really wants him to do right by Monique. And, you know, one thing that nobody is talking about enough for me is the fact that Derek is not working. Now, albeit he is looking good, but really, how different is he from, like you just mentioned, a Michael from Michael and Sarah? He has not even mentioned a job. Not a...
No. He loving this fresh out glow, baby. Okay.
Yes.
He not a job, girl. Good night. That's gonna fuck up all type of shit. That he ain't trying to. No, he not gonna go do that right now.
Right. So, just this whole idea of him talking about marrying Monique, like, he needs to be glad that Big Ma is sweet, sweet as pie, because she could have laid into your ass. Like, nigga, you don't even work. Like, so
she gave him a little change.
Exactly.
You talking about a wife.
Right. Because he don't work, she had to lend him $500, which I'm like, wow.
Was it a loan?
You're right. She probably just gifted him.
Yeah, because she was like, I got a little change for you. Like, she was just giving it to him.
Girl, my goodness. Oh, gosh.
And did she go in there broad and get it like all Big Ma's do?
I don't know. I didn't catch that. I just saw she had a wad of money and was like, will this work for you? And I'm just like, oh, my gosh.
I love Big Mom because you know what? When it comes to like marriage and stuff, she's not gonna play. She's older,
right?
Old. She is old, and she has a totally different definition of marriage than Derek does. Like she said, this is not no one day thing for this show,
right? So
I'm glad she is there to teach him what's right because clearly he don't have a clue. Okay,
right. I'm concerned that he may not be listening, but she definitely is. At least trying to get him to consider some things before he just makes these decisions. And she's not just going to blindly support. Like, she's asking some questions. And it is the questions that need answers. So anyway, after she gives him the money, then his Uncle Al picks him up. And he has flowers for Monique.
Uncle Al.
The girls is kind of on Uncle Al.
He was giving Master P vibes, okay? I used
Ice
to
Cream
love
Man.
P. Girl, I used to love him, okay? But you know what else I love, Jackie? I done got rid of many a niggas over them flowers. And he pulled up with some flowers for Monique. I was like, hey, Uncle Al.
Okay, I saw a lot of those eyeball emojis on Twitter, like, who's Uncle Al? I was like, okay, the girls are checking.
What's going on?
Yes. Yeah. And he's also asking the real questions to Derek,
Absolutely.
Are you ready? Are you good? Have you checked in with your PO? And Derek lets Uncle Al know that he has not received his official travel pass. So then Uncle Al's like, yeah, maybe you should call her, And so he calls and she says that he cannot travel and that
PO on his ass. Okay.
So, I was like more than ready to hear your point of view coming from that side of the wall in the past.
I think she wasn't wrong. She's like, I've been waiting on you to call me as a PO. Like, no, nigga, I don't hound you and look for you and call you. You need to call me, period. Right. I don't chase. So you wait till you on your way to the airport.
Right.
You should have been checking on that. And it shows like you're on this. She knows you're doing this show. She know you don't have a job. So since you want to play, let's play.
Right. Yep. You
should have took care of your business. But he did send it to her. She just, but I like the way she did that. She was like, yeah, I'll call you when I call you. And she did call back like, I fucked up. I got it, but don't play with me.
Right. I appreciated that she was just like, you're not going to rush me. I'm not going to work on your time.
Yeah.
But, Uncle Al, and then of course Billiam in the back, who popped out of nowhere, scared the shit out of me.
Whispers in the dog back there, honey. Okay,
they're like
Uncle Al and Billiam. They was cool. They gave me like real OG vibes.
Yes,
but Derek, why would you not clear that shit up before you just think you about to pooch to Chicago? Like you just pooch it on to the airport and ain't checked on shit.
Right. And all he had to do was call.
To me, hey, I sent it. Did you get it? I'm like, in days, not on the day you are going to the airport. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. Nigga, I'm not going to be looking for you and you the one needs something from me.
Right. Exactly. And,
when make sense.
Yeah. And when she calls back and says, you're good, she tells him, don't pull no shit in Chicago. When I call you, you pick up.
You better answer that phone, boy. She worse than Monique. Monique, I ain't bad. Keep on. You got a little competition. That's this real PO, baby.
Oh, so, after he gets off the phone with her, they're good to go. They're on the way to the airport. So now he's telling, Uncle Al and Billiam that he's going to propose to Monique. And they
was like, what?
Right. I feel like everybody is like, what the fuck?
Like, boy, we just saw the girls. Like, oh, okay.
Right. And, I think Billiam's like, well, what will you do if she says no? And,
she ain't gonna say no.
How was she?
He's so arrogant.
He's so arrogant. I love it so much. He's just like, what is she gonna say no to? They ain't no. That's not in the vocabulary. Ooh. And I was like, he got a bottom bitch on his side, don't it?
Definitely does.
So yeah, we really didn't see Monique this week. We just heard her.
I wouldn't even marry him, to be honest. Motherfucker, you just got on TV talking about you slept with 10 girls.
Right.
And
oh my gosh.
Boy, get the fuck no. What do you mean? What is there to say no to? That.
Right.
That alone.
Right.
Stupid.
Okay, and this is all after you admitted to cheating with somebody else, having unprotected sex, like girl, all type of shit. There's so much.
Just everything. Right.
Yes.
What do you mean? What is there to say no to?
There's a lot, actually. Because you have pulled so many stunts from day one with her. So, yeah, I would hesitate myself. So, but he's off to Chicago, also flying on that good Southwest flight. So he will be landing at Midway. Where
of course.
He will get picked up by Monique, and I guess they'll be spending some time in the Shy. She better have him on a good leash, baby, because
baby, these girls ruthless.
Yes.
Okay, hide your man, hide your kids, hide your wife. Yes. You better get them, because baby, these hoes ready to dive out that dick. Okay,
girl,
I ain't got time for it. And Monique, your sisters can't save you.
And you moving around with cameras and shit, so they gonna think he's somebody.
Girl, they gonna lights, camera, action on. That's all these girls about need is a little 15 minutes of fame. Girl, you will be known for the girl that got beat up. Leave it alone. Keep your man.
He definitely has a primary side chick in Chicago now, guaranteed.
Probably, yeah. Straight from 63rd.
Probably work right there at Midway. Like he didn't even have to leave the airport.
Oh yes. Oh, yes, because if I see him, I'm Derek. Boy, get your goof ass. Goofball ass nigga, get your ass out my city.
Oh, my gosh. But, he looked like the type of guy that asks stupid questions just to, engage in conversation with people. And then next thing you know, you're exchanging numbers and now you're calling his third phone. So.
Exactly.
So yeah. So that was them this week. Not much, but
that was it.
Setting us up for more foolishness with them in a coming week. And last and least, we got Taylor and Chance.
Girl, he makes my soul itch, honey.
My God, today. Taylor, oof.
You gotta do better. You deserve better.
You deserve better,
girl,
yeah.
This can't be life.
It's got to be more. So we're at the hospital. Taylor is there. We're in the final moments of labor. And I think all the meds have kicked in for her. And she has baby Mason. And we see Chance being as annoying as ever, An
asshole.
She's trying to do skin to skin and bond with the baby. And he pretty much
the baby.
Snatches him.
Yeah, he did. I didn't like that
at all.
But you know what, Bobby, where were you? That was your role to play.
Yeah,
and you did not. You sat up there and said you wouldn't miss it for the world and everything, and then you got triggered and you left.
Yeah.
So I wonder did Chance trigger her? Like, Was he even there at that time? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
he was there.
So I wonder, was he a trigger for her? Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. If it was my sister and she had a husband like that and was about to have this baby, and I'm stuck in the hospital with him, I probably would have been like, you know what, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Y'all got it. Like, cause I
Yeah,
just know Chance, he's an asshole,
right.
saying all type of little stuff, you know. So she probably was like, you know what, it's not just me. We're here with my sister. Her husband is here, and I hate him, so I'm gonna go.
Right. I don't know. I think that there were a lot of people, it seemed like, were trying to get Chance under control because it was a nurse or somebody in the background, that was like, hey, she's just done all the work, like, chill. And he wasn't.
The doctor said that.
Yeah,
A
okay.
male doctor. Like, what?
Yeah, so it's like he
It takes a
wasn't.
man.
Child, he wasn't listening to nobody.
He didn't give a
So
fuck. Still
yeah.
snatched that baby right on up, baby. That's when my sister would have been there whooping ass, okay? And let me tell you
Right.
something. My sister, nothing like me. She real nice. But don't play with her sister. Because, like, it's fucked up because you doing that. She cannot move. She's
Right.
like literally, and I just didn't give him here. Just give him here. And then the baby's crying. Should have made you feel like shit.
Right.
Like, dude, he was comfortable. He's on his mother's chest. Like,
Right. Also, he's stressed
ass
out.
back.
Like, come on. Literally just went through the birth canal. Like,
Yeah, now I'm in this fucked up ass world with y'all. I was cooling in the oven. Now I'm out here with y'all. Yeah, I want to cry.
right. And immediately got to deal with this motherfucker as a dad. Like,
Right. Soon as he pick him up, like, here go this nigga.
girl.
Oh, here we go.
So,
When?
okay, I would be mad too, baby Mason. So,
Right.
5 weeks later, we see the chaos that has erupted at Taylor and Chance's house. There's lots of noise, baby cries, Chance calling for Taylor to, for whatever reason. You can just tell there's
Don't
a.
call me for shit. You hear this baby crying and you
Right.
hear all these other kids demanding my attention. Don't call me for shit. Matter of fact, call that bitch you was texting from work
Right.
since y'all laid off. Oh, okay.
Girl, speaking of, right? So Chance lets us
Hmm.
know he's been laid off and he's been lying about it, using that old excuse,
Still lying.
that he doesn't want Taylor asking, if he's out with other females. So he just leaves and pretends like he's going to work and apparently goes to try and look for work. Now, if you were laid off, why aren't you down at
Shouldn't
the unemployment office?
Do you hear me? Was there a severance package? No. Was there, like you said, is there unemployment that could be collected?
Yeah.
But instead you got your ass down to the slot machines.
I think Chance was
Hmm.
fired. And, Chance, again, right? Because Chance is the person that thinks he's smarter than everybody.
Yes, he does.
And he thinks that we will believe that he's been laid off and all of this makes sense when we know when you're laid off, like you said, there's typically severance or at least eligibility for unemployment that you can seek out first before you're completely ass out. And also, Chance, you
Mm,
told us that you were leaving work early
mm.
to go down to the casino. So, of course, you're not really getting all the way to like full 40 hours or beyond if you're leaving work early all the time. And maybe that was frowned upon in general. So, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if he was actually fired and not unemployed. But I don't know.
Mm.
I
Makes
digress.
sense. Mm.
But so yeah, he's out here doing nothing. But before we see him, completely spiraling, he goes to see his friend John, who is essentially like a house flipper, works in construction, and he's too ashamed to tell him outright that he needs work. But then he does finally beat around the bush, to let him know that he's looking. And John says that he'll have more work available in like 4 to 6 weeks when a demo project starts. But, he's got guys that are, that have been working with him that are probably reliable and experienced that aren't
Exactly.
working right now. So, Chance will have to wait. And he says that they'll basically be homeless in a month. And I'm just like, dog, then why are you not, a lot of people were saying, why isn't he out in front of Home Depot? And I'm like, that's because Chance is full of shit. Like he's pushing off this construction, expertise and power washing and all that type of stuff. But again, the garage, quote unquote, room for Bobby was more than enough for us to know that he is not skilled, at that shit. And no, there's absolutely no way.
Half-ass bullshit. He acts like he's on drugs, to be honest.
Yes.
He gives every bit of crackhead.
Yes, he does. He does. So Taylor calls Bobby to vent about everything that's going on. And she says that they're drowning. Girl. And then
leave Bobby alone. Like, y'all keep triggering her over there. Leave her alone.
Right? Because it's like, what can she do? And without coming off like she's overstepping, what can she do without Chance, throwing a fit? It's hard, right? Because she should be able to talk to her sister about what's going on, but it also has to suck when there's nothing that she can do about it. So from there, we see Chance go to the bar where his friend Daryl works, who I believe that's the guy whose driveway he power washed. And for free, right? Just to test it out, because once
to test it out. And that's another thing. Go get that fucking power washer.
Right,
if you out of work, you need to go get this motherfucking power washer that you spent this $400, however much money he spent on it. Either go sell it or go use it.
Exactly. Right.
Taylor don't be on his ass, baby. He would think he got up. He would be quick to say, "You not my PO," and I would be quick to say, "Bitch, yes I am." I wouldn't call a man a bitch. I wouldn't do that. But I would have to tell him, yes, I am. Because while you acting like a con artist and like you talking to Boo Boo the Fool, baby, I'm finna get on your ass and go there with you. Because I'm not about to be around here with 4 screaming ass kids.
Right.
While you go play slots all goddamn day. No. See, he couldn't have no black woman, baby.
Oh, girl.
Taylor, stand up.
Stand up. Stand up. Yeah. Yep. So at the bar, they take a shot to Mason.
For the motherfuckers that ain't did shit. You ain't get a push gift. You went to the bar, my nigga?
Girl.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you were...
You better get a cigar and sit in this house.
Either that or... get your ass out there and really bring home the bacon, and then you can celebrate with a shot. You haven't been doing anything because
there you go. I'm with you when you're right, friend.
Right? Like, again, 5 weeks out from Mason's birth and you have lost your job. That means within the first month of his life, you literally have not been employed. So I just don't know what you're celebrating at this point. And
you're playing slot.
And then,
you had me fucked up.
Right? He notices some slot machines. Oh, does anyone ever win on those? And then Daryl, who could have been like, no, doesn't work. Gonna tell him, oh, I've been surprised. I've seen people win more than I expect. I'm like, sir, why would you set this man
you know
up?
what? He doesn't know probably that Chance has a gambling problem.
You're right, because he be lying.
B, he's such a liar. B, let's be clear. He... as the owner of that bar, maybe he's just a bartender. I don't know. But those slots are in there for a reason.
Touche.
I'm pretty sure they get some money off of winnings and all of that stuff. So, of course, he's going to encourage people to play. That they're there for a reason.
Even the lowest of low lives. Yes, please.
Yeah. I've seen him. Girl, we was at the bar a few weeks ago, and this man was in there on his lunch break, like, playing those machines, and he was like, yeah, I done won like 600 off this machine before. I was like, oh, okay.
You know what? And more power to that man, because guess what he was doing? Playing on his lunch break while he works before and after.
Period.
But Mr. Chance, oh no, unemployed and running low on funds, he loses $70 in 30 minutes. And then
stupid, right?
And his little confessional, he's like, oh, I'm so stupid. I really thought I was gonna win, and
Sis, people who gamble.
Yes.
Like, like, come on now.
And this is where my notes, I 100% agree with, like you said earlier. I think he's back on that narcotic. And if he's not, he will be in no time, because he's getting to this space where there's this sense of hopelessness. He's not working.
Mm-hmm.
He's with Taylor. They got all these kids. He's feeling like she doesn't trust him. He's a gambler and he's not winning. Like, to me, that just sounds like a recipe to use to escape all of that. And then next thing you know, you're going to be looking for ways to get money, to get more drugs, and you're not going to be focused on working at all.
Agreed.
So another one where it's like, Taylor, you could have dated this man and had him living with you and your girls and figuring out the next step in your lives, but getting pregnant that fast, having that baby, I'm not surprised you feel like you're drowning, because this man is not it. He's not the one.
And then he acted like he wanted kudos for being there for the birth. Like, nigga, you don't get no motherfucking kudos for doing some shit you supposed to do. You're supposed to be there.
Right.
See, I just don't like it. Like, he con artist. You're from Florida. I want to know what made you get out of prison and go to Ellsbury, wherever the fuck they live at, Missouri. Yeah, like, I really want to know. Like, to me, that's a scam. He scammed Taylor. Like, you knew she was a country girl that really doesn't know much about a lot, and just, she's been through a lot.
He knew something.
She doesn't. Yeah, like, she doesn't really get very angry with him all the time. She just kind of lets him do whatever. She makes a lot of excuses for him. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, she was dating somebody that he was also incarcerated with. And I think that allowed for him to get a perspective on who she was and her situation and how he could scam her. How can I get involved with this chick? Let me tell you something.
The motherfucker she was dating, because didn't they meet, like, she called somebody on three-way or something?
I think, she was like relaying messages. Maybe that guy, his minutes were up or something, so she talked to Chance instead. Some shit like that.
So guess what? He probably passed Taylor on to Chance.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
He probably had another chick. He probably was about to get out. Look, I got what I needed out of it. You can have it.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Yeah, niggas do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Jail niggas too. They do that. They do that all the time. But hey, whatever.
Right? But again, like we've said, Taylor is holding on and not marrying this man yet. And that's her last chance. That's the only thing left that will keep her from being completely tied to this man and completely overburdened with the financial decisions that he's making. You can't marry him, Taylor.
At all, mama. So, I mean, even if you can't marry him, but he needs to go. Like,
right.
You got 4 kids, Taylor.
Right.
Like, come on. Send him back to Florida. For real.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. I just shake my head. Like, 4 kids under a certain age, right? I mean, none of them are very old. They're all under 10 at least.
Yeah.
Sister is back close, but she's still struggling a little bit, so she's not really a big help. You got your other relatives. I don't know how much they're leaning in. It's just like, for you to have another grown person in the house who's lying to you, actively lying to you about what they have going on, instead of using this social media era to make some money. Like you said, get that power washer, get on Facebook Marketplace or whatever the fuck this shit is called, solicit for your business, like solicit some services, solicit some clients, and you're not doing that. Like, you're gambling and wasting your money. He's going to be back on that shit. And the last thing you're going to want to have to do is put an addict out, and have your kids have to deal with that and seeing
and that. Taylor, you went through this already with Bobby. Like, you already dealt with one addict, like, around your girls and the struggles of that. Like,
right.
cut the shit, bro. Like, enough is enough.
Well, that was it for everybody. And, you know, the look ahead,
That was enough.
things, right, they don't seem to get much better for Taylor and Chance specifically. You know, Taylor's asking about another woman in the preview and Chance is running off.
See?
Right?
See?
Like, girl, change the locks, okay, while he's away.
That's it.
Justine and Michael, we see them in Vegas, and you know, Justine's feeling like she's getting sold up the river. Or played out, I guess you could say, you know, for Michael's career. Lindsay yelling and cutting up again, banging on a garage door as she argues with Blaine. Not that serious ever in life.
Ever.
Amber and Puppy going back and forth, per usual. Right. And then Sean and Sarah. So he says there's something that...
Oh, they weren't on this episode. We said everybody was on. We lied.
You're right. Yes, they were not on. But Sean, we see in the preview saying he feels like there's still something that Sarah's not telling him. And she admits there's something, you know, but she's still scared to tell him. And I'm like, girl, who knows what it is, but y'all better figure that shit out. So before we wrap, Love After Lockup universe, you know, getting a little bit closer to current cast members this time. So can't leave without talking about an interview that happened last week. YouTuber Gio Malik was able to somehow get a hold of Derek's ex-fiance, who goes by Miss Nesha. And she came on his platform and he asked a ton of questions. And, you know, to summarize the foolishness, Miss Nesha is a 41-year-old.
Because that's what it was.
Right. It was definitely some foolishness. But she's a 41-year-old woman from DC who says she dated Derek from like 2019 to 2021. Put all her trust in a nigga. Okay, gave him all of her information.
How you figure? She did the most. We were engaged, girl. Derek is a pimp.
I'm telling you, I said it right. And she found out about Monique when she called one day and told her.
Because of course Monique calls women phone.
Right.
The fuck, she weak bitch shit. I hate it,
girl. And so she claims she broke up with Derek at that time, and Monique and Derek, or once that she broke up with him, she had a credit card that he was able to use, and she cut him off from that. And
from jail. What is he purchasing, ma'am?
I was so blown away. I'm like, none of this is making sense, but you know, Miss Nesha is also an ex-police officer, so all I could assume was that it makes sense in her world. I don't know. But she claims that Monique and Derek then started to harass her. Monique made threats. Monique opened up credit cards in her name and stole her identity and all this stuff. And then Monique went live on Instagram a couple of days ago to basically...
because she just gotta address it. She can't never leave well enough alone.
Right, exactly. And it was borderline incriminating. Like, you know, she talked about the fact that she did talk to Miss Nesha, but apparently, you know, they kind of caught Derek up together. You know, Monique claims that she was talking to Miss Nesha and Derek happened to call her at the same time, and they wound up on a three-way. And when he heard Miss Nesha's voice, he hung up. She talked about recording conversations. Miss Nesha talked about Monique having a record for assault, and Monique said that was from when she was like 17. So in a lot of cases, she was validating what Miss Nesha was saying, but also, you know, being honest about the fact that in some cases, some of the things in her story didn't make sense. But ultimately, Monique probably shouldn't have addressed it at all. I would have.
She don't know how to shut the fuck up.
Right.
Like she's one of those. She's one of those even on social media that just has to respond. Like, girl,
Yes.
you're not nobody. Relax. Fuck them people.
Right. Especially when it's negative. She's one of those people that will see 10 comments that say I love you, and as soon as somebody says you suck, she's gotta address it. And ultimately, if this woman is saying anything about you that might be incriminating, I wouldn't respond at all, because if she's still in a information gathering state, or she's building up her case.
She said they were in court, like she was suing her. Like,
so Monique claims that it got dismissed.
I did hear that.
Right, so it's yeah, I still wouldn't talk about shit because
at all.
If you can bring another case against me, or you can try to use something else against my name, all that type of shit, I just wouldn't give anybody the opportunity to be out here talking about, oh, well, I spoke my piece and then she came back and said this. And when she said that, that basically is evidence that this happened. We talked and she recorded it and that's illegal. And girl, don't get caught up. But like we said, we know how Monique is. And hell, I think at this point, Miss Nesha, who claimed that anybody that goes on Love After Lockup is desperate, even though she met
But
Derek.
Even though you met him the same way. It might not have been the same exact site, but Miss Mama's.
Right.
You met him the same way.
Right.
So
it was a prison pen pal. Too. Yeah.
And y'all don't have no kids. And girl, you're pretty as fuck.
Yes.
You could step out and go bag you any fucking body you want. So what are we talking about? Don't be the pot calling the kettle and the teacup and the stuff. Don't do that.
Right. Yeah, because there was definitely a lot of that contradiction where she's like, oh, I'm 41, no kids, and I'm not desperate, basically was her message. And yeah, she's in great shape. And that's all fine and well. But ma'am, the only reason that we know who you are right now is because you claim that you were dating a guy who just turned 30, who did 9 years in jail, and you gave him all of your money and your personal information because you trusted him so much.
You got scammed.
Yeah.
Just say that. You got scammed. And ma'am, it's just, you looking desperate. You on here showing your butt all in this TV. Mm-hmm. If you don't have no kids, who was that you kept looking at in the background? Girl, it was just given. That interview was interesting. Don't get me wrong. Oh shit, but
right,
girl, you got scammed. And he asked her, do you feel like Derek scammed you? She was like, yeah. Well, of course you do. You're hurt. That's why you're out here doing this interview.
Right.
You're hurt. That's it.
Right. You see him on TV getting money now, and still with this woman that had the nerve to call you and give you a hard time. And you want to say something about it now because she also talks about not being on social media and and all of that. But somehow you found your way to Geo Malik on YouTube, who who's growing his following, but he just crossed 10,000 followers, which obviously I have 3, so it's nothing to scoff at. But at the same time, this isn't one of the platforms that Derek and Monique have been on. It's not like you went on Angela Yee behind them. So,
right.
You had to found your way to Geo somehow. So there was some holes in her story. Like you said, she was on the streaming site on his it's like a StreamYard link I'm sure he dropped for her on his live on YouTube, but she wasn't by herself, right? She clearly, there was somebody in the background that she kept looking at, and that alone would have pissed me off, because I would have been like, I'm sorry, who are you looking at and laughing at? Are we being serious right now, or should I be concerned about that?
He can't say nothing to nobody with his kids in that background cutting up.
Well, I just didn't like that it seemed like, she was
funny business.
Yeah, it was some funny business. Thank you. Because she also had all of these pictures of him from his childhood and from growing up. And when Gio was flashing those photos, she was kind of blushing and laughing and turning away from the camera. And I'm like, what's so funny about this?
Because it's
It's
probably fake, but I mean, a little
yeah.
fake, whatever. But
But at the same time, hey, Monique admitted she knows who she is. She's talked to her. Monique also said that she lives with her mom and she doesn't work, in DC. And hey, I don't know how true that is, but
because DC is expensive.
right. But she said, Miss Nesha said that she does like more like private investigator work, I guess.
And a
Um,
chef. Don't
and
forget the
she's a
chef.
chef. Yes, girl, who's not a fucking home cook these days. No shade.
Girl,
No
everybody
shade.
kissing me. All the shade. I don't give a fuck.
Like,
All
it's no
y'all
shade, but
nasty kitchen motherfuckers want to do that shit. No, get your stupid ass out of here. Y'all should be nasty on social media.
it was just one of
No,
those things where she just called out a few things that sound like they're not full-time work. So,
yeah.
was Monique far off? Probably not. So I'm interested to see like what might become of it, or if it just falls flat because everybody is looking to get a little bit more fame off of Derek and Monique's 15 minutes. But it was interesting because at the same time, it does not strike me as surprising that Monique might be a scammer herself, might have been a ride or
Oh yeah.
die for
What he
Derek.
said while he was in there, he was teaching people. That was like the scam during the PPP loan, the pandemic, and all of that. People who knew how to like word it and all of that, they
Yeah.
were charging people for the answers to the questions or something like.
Okay.
So I think, and Derek said that that's what he was doing, like teaching people how to. No, nigga, you was teaching them the answers to that PPP shit, or maybe Monique had it and you was doing it.
Yeah.
Y'all were, tag teaming it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's given that because while you think you showing off your body and you doing all of this and saying how fine you are and all of this, guess what? Derek still picked Monique. So whatever you
Right.
say about it, he still picked her over you. So
Right.
what are we talking about? Take
Right.
your L.
And he picked her because she was willing to be a ride or die. It don't matter how many other chicks he has mentioned or she's found out about, she's still around.
Right.
Um,
All y'all. Then let's go here. Bitch, why the fuck did his brother say she looked like a man? And so you felt compelled to send nude pictures of yourself to prove otherwise? It would have been Derek, fuck you.
oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. I feel like I did. Did I? I know I didn't make that up. I know my mind is like not even fresh like that to be making that whole
Girl,
scenario up.
it was a lot. It was a long interview, and I probably tuned her out a time or two.
Oh, absolutely.
But
But
right, it was
yeah, I
stuff like
really do
that. It was
think,
so much like that where it
yeah,
was
because
like, you
she
did
bought that
what?
tablet for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is other bitches popping their pussy for a real nigga on it? Okay. Like
Right.
what?
Right. She probably was one of them folks that was blurred out that he was showing his brothers.
She said it. I want to say she said it. She was one of the girls in the photos
Mm,
on the tablet. I want to say that.
child. I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was. She probably was the screensaver, child. But
Girl,
it was
bye.
just so much, right? Where it was just like, girl, I wouldn't be admitting all of this. I would take my L quietly,
Very much
especially
so.
right with the age difference. Like, hey, live your life, but I wouldn't tell nobody that some dude 11 years younger than me got over on my ass. Okay.
On the phone.
Over the
Over
phone
the phone.
from behind the wall.
Fuck out of
Okay.
here. Yeah. What?
Yeah. So
Ooh, child.
yeah, it was a lot. It was much, but I think that, yeah, like I said, Monique, she stayed down. Oh, that was the other thing. Miss Nesha claimed that Monique was running packages allegedly, into
But sending stuff in the mail.
yes, for Derek. So there's a lot of reasons where it's like, if she was willing to do sketchy stuff for him, if she's willing to be down regardless of who he talks to and how often he cheats, and she's also willing to help him get money or even give him money, buy all those gifts and stuff. Like,
and let's be clear, this was probably survival for Derek,
100%.
right?
Yes.
Because those sisters, while they want to do the most and have so much to say, they were not there. And he was
Right.
very vocal about that. And I believe that. So he was, he went into inmate mode. I'm going to use different women to get to
Yeah.
survive in here.
Yeah, he told Miss Nesha that his siblings weren't helping him too. He clearly talked shit about them siblings to anybody who would listen.
He talks
And
shit. He talks gossip like a fucking, just, I don't like it.
so I
Messy ass
100%
nigga.
right. I agree that it was all a
Messy.
scam. He was messy, and that he was in survival mode, and he was gonna talk to whoever he could get over on, whoever would help him, make a quick buck, whoever would put up with his bullshit. So
For 9 years, that's a long bid.
yeah,
Like, you have to have some support for that, or like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And he was into a lot. So yeah, he had to figure it out and make some shit shake.
right. And he pretty much grew up in there. You go from 19 to 29, 20 to 29 in prison, to lose your 20s, behind the wall. And, your mom is gone. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why he seems to always have these older chicks. He's probably trying to deal with a lot, in his mind and within his subconscious, right? And his who he is as a being.
Give a fuck. And here come these captain, saver, inmate ass women.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that. Deal with your shit. I don't give a fuck about your trauma. I'm not sending you shit.
Right.
Call
right.
that bitch for some money.
Whew, so yeah, I'm sure Derek knows better than to mention anything. He's probably calling Miss Nesha on his third phone, telling her to pipe down. And
right. Why you acting like that?
Right.
I'm gonna come see you. But she said she changed all the phone numbers. Her mother, her sister, everybody changed their numbers. So why do you still have baby pictures of this man?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, girl, everything must go like a motherfucking sale around this bitch. So
yes.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I didn't believe that. Because
at all.
You know what I thought? I'm like, oh, what about that Maryland number on one of the earlier episodes? And Monique confirmed it. She said that she was the one calling from Maryland, from the Maryland line, when they were in the hotel, like on their second episode. And I was like, see, I thought so. So, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that she never tried to reach out to Derek, or she doesn't know how to reach Derek or Monique.
Right.
At this point, I don't care how many numbers you changed. If they didn't change a number, you still know how to contact them. And
Monique messy ass not changing nothing. She want that kind of drama.
Okay. Right. I want to be reached. Okay.
Yeah. I want you to call me.
Right.
No.
Because if you want to fight, we could fight. So
I'm not fighting over this little ass dude.
Right. And that's probably why, hey, Miss Nesha clearly don't have it all, but she resolved, like, she wasn't going to be doing all of that. Allegedly, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like she's going to be on one of these seasons. She might be trying to get her. Mm-hmm.
Yep, right. She's like, oh, I want in, because she probably didn't think about the fact that he was going to get out. They were going to wind up on TV. They were going to wind up, everywhere, and that, oh shit, like I might have missed out on $1, because she was like, why didn't I think of that? So.
Oh,
so yeah,
get your 41-year-old ass somewhere and sit down.
Right, girl. And then had the nerve to wrap it up talking about like she's single and ready to mingle. I'm like, girl.
Talking about is desperate, but here you are soliciting.
Right.
Okay, like I'm single and ready to mingle. Like,
and what you gonna do? You don't have a Facebook page, a Instagram, a Twitter. Like, what you gonna be? You want people to write you letters like Derek did?
Yeah, that's probably what she used to. Silly rabbit.
Child. So yeah, that was the Love After Lockup University. It was, too hot to pass up. You know me, I normally don't like to go into current cast members, but these two have been keeping up so much shit. And of course, that meant that other people, right, would join in on keeping up shit with them. Should have knew that it was going to happen sooner or later.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So that is that for this week. So I don't know. I feel like they're starting to, lose their grip. It's starting to get a little light, episode to episode. We were doing really well and it's starting to get a little thin, but we'll see. We got a few more episodes left, I'm sure. So we'll see what we can get through with these folks.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's it. Talk to you next week. Until then, you take care.
All right, girl. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to another Love After Lockup review. We appreciate y'all. And remember, I'm a jack of all trades, a master of none, not here to be an expert, just here to have fun. Bye, guys.